This is your 5-minute call for our first couple classes of heifers. Just so we know, we will start with class 2 because class 1, those 2 heifers have been moved to class 4 and class 7. So we have a class 2, we'll have a class 4, we'll have a class 8, and then we'll have a champion. Okay, so in class 2, we'll start with Macchiato and Whiskey Willow. Then class 4 will be Cowboy. Then class 7 will be Walker. Then class 8 will be Wildfire. And then we'll have a champion. So if we can start making our way to ringside, and if I could have my judge come up here so I can get the bio from the judge, I would appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, just a reminder, we're going to go ahead and get started in about 2 minutes. We need our class 2 heifers up here. These are heifers born in 2024. We should have 2 of them. As a reminder, some of these have been moved to different classes based on their birth date. So we have 2 from Rebecca Minor. We have Macchiato and Whiskey Willow. And we are starting with class 2, and these are heifers that are born in 2024. I would like to introduce our judge, if I can get this to work. I'd like to introduce our judge. Liz has been raising and showing. Oh, never mind. I'll let Kelly do all that. Okay.
Okay, good afternoon, guys. Welcome to the second part of our Texas Longhorn show here at Maryland State Fair. We've been coming for about 3 years, and we're always excited to be here. And we don't have a lot of numbers back there in the barn this year, but what we have is pretty high quality. So we're really glad you guys have come in and take a look, and hopefully we'll educate you a little bit about this great breed. So these are two heifers that were born this year, early spring heifers. And in this class, they're very, very similar in type. Sometimes in this breed, you see a lot of variation in horn shape and horn growth and size and color, but these two females are extremely close. I'm going to use this darker cherry red heifer in first place. She's entry number 1452. And basically today what it boils down to is horn growth and the circumference that she has at the base of her horn, which is an indication about how much total horn she'll have when she grows up. If you look at her from the side laterally and you see her horns are tipping back, and the tip of her horn is facing this way and not forward. So that's an indication that she's going to have a lot of tip to tip as she matures out. But we're looking at her femininity, the length in her neck, the cleanliness that she carries down through her front legs, which is called her brisket, and really clean underneath. So that flashy cherry color and just a little bit more horn growth than the female behind her today. But what I do really like about this female is she's a little bit taller, a little bit longer, so she has some more size and frame to the female ahead of her. But I just want to see these guys down the road and see what their horns do. But this is a very close pair out here today. This may be the closest placing that we'll see. But really good job, ladies, showing these nice spring calves off.
Results of Class 2 is as follows. First went to exhibitor 1452. Brenda, was that Allison? She took the pagan. Evelyn was first with 1452, right? Okay, thank you. She took my paper. So Evelyn was first with 1452 Whiskey Willow, and Allison was second with Caramel Macchiato. We're now ready for our next class, which I think is B4 with Remington King and Lattimore DBL Cowboy. No? Yes. DBL Cowboy with Mr. Remington Kyle can head in the ring. Is in the ring. There we go.
A single entry class like this makes it a good time for me to kind of talk about what I'm thinking in my mind when I'm watching her come around, and I don't have to compare her to another female in the class with her. So here's a female that she's just shy of her first birthday. She's going to turn a year old next month, and you see the difference in the height and the length of this female, just a couple months growth difference. I really like how long her neck is, how clean she is down through her brisket. She's got some extra skin there in her throat area, but when I see a heifer with this kind of size and frame, I'm pretty certain that down the road in another year, she's going to grow into that, and that will tighten up. She's clean underneath, no navel. She has a good base horn, and horns go in that direction that we want to see at this age. If they're headed forward or curving around to the front, you really lose a lot of total horn down the road. But she's got a nice straight top line, very correct in her tail set, the way her tail comes all the way to the end of her spine and just drops straight off, and a really interesting color. This isn't a very common color. You'll see a lot of reds and whites, but this is a really pretty heifer with a lot of shading, and that color will probably change as she grows and matures. So we'll see her back and see how she can stand up to some competition for champion.
Congratulations to our single entry from Lattimore Valley Farms. Samantha Remington exhibited Lattimore DBL Cowboy, an October 10th, 2023 heifer. If I'm following along correctly, we're now looking for Blaine Blakely with Walker from BS Cattle. This should be Class 7. We would like to thank our ribbon helpers today. We have Rosie, Maggie, and Eddie are helping in the ring today give out ribbons.
Hello.
This is a really, really nice example of what genetic improvements can do in the Longhorn breed. Years ago, everybody thought Longhorns were just rangy skeleton cows that were running wild everywhere and what you saw in the movies, and that if you come into a county fair or a state fair that they can't compete with other beef breeds. But here's a female that somebody has put some effort into changing that. And she's very tall, she's very long. If you look at how much circumference she has here in her shoulder and in her elbows here, that's a really good sign that she's gonna fill out and be a nice heavyweight brood cow, which is important. The bigger the cow, the bigger the calf they have space to carry, and so that is really important when you're selecting your breeding females. I watched this female walk around. Keith unplugged me good that time. But you watch her walk around, and if you guys look at her hindquarter when she leaves the ring, she's got all these ripples of muscle in her hindquarter. And I just want to commend this young guy for the condition she's in. She's at a stage in her development where she's really growing a lot, and for her to be able to maintain that muscle is really good. That's a sign that she's getting nutritionally what she needs, and she's doing a good job of really growing and getting some size to her. So she'll be first place, and we'll see her in for champion junior heifer as well.
Congratulations to Blaine Blakely with his April 2023 heifer Walker, first place exhibitor. We're now ready for Remington King from Lattimore Valley Farms with Lattimore DBL Wildfire, and this, I believe, is a January 12th, 2023 heifer. I apologize. Oh, Class 6 first. I gotcha. Sorry. I'm sorry. The Minor family is going to show Jacked Up Ghost Pepper. Do we have Colt and Evelyn exhibiting this one? So this is Class 6. This heifer is a June 10th, 2023 heifer, exhibited from the Minor family. Again, this is Jacked Up Ghost Pepper, and we are going to follow that up with B8, the Remington heifer Wildfire.
All right, for folks in the stand, just so if you're watching and comparing, we're going back one class. We skipped over a class accidentally. So this heifer is actually younger than the solid white female that just left the ring. And there's not a lot to not like about this female. She has that flashy black and white color, putting on a lot of horn for her age. She has For people wondering how they grow and where they develop, she has an exceptional amount of horn for her age. She's actually way ahead of what I would expect out of a female her age. In the Longhorn breed, the calves start to get horns at about a month or so. They can start popping out, and they will continue to grow at a very high rate until she's 3, 4, 5 years old. So it's really important when we see these young heifers and we're selecting show heifers and breeding heifers that if you have an opportunity to get your hands on a female this flashy with that much horn, you want to make sure and take advantage of it. So she's a beautiful heifer. Thank you guys for bringing her out, and we'll see her back in for the champion.
Results of Class 6 exhibited by the Minor family was Jacked Up Ghost Pepper first. We're going to bring in Class 7 now. I got ahead of myself with Class 8, Remington King with Lattimore Valley Farms, and this is Lattimore DBL Wildfire. This is a January 12th, 2023 heifer. We are then going to follow with our selection of our junior heifer. So we will be looking for DBL Cowboy, Walker, Whiskey Willow, and Jacked Up Ghost Pepper to be selected for our champion and reserve champion junior heifer.
So I don't have her exact birth date in front of me, but here's a female that's getting up around 1.5 years or a little more in that range. She was probably a spring calf last year, and just really, really like the height underneath this female. You look at how tall she is, all that leg underneath her, and when she walks out, she just stretches out. She's got a lot of size, a lot of volume, that length of body. I look at her from the side, and she's got beautiful spring of rib that just gives her that brood cow body capacity that's important for her raising a calf. At this age, some people will breed them, so there's a chance she's already been exposed to a bull at this age for a calf for next year. So a female like this that's kind of ahead of the game with size and frame, these are the females that do a little better when they calve in early as a 2-year-old. But once you look at how nice and straight and strong she is through her top line, she's very correct in her angles, so she stands nice and straight in the front, very correct in the back with her hind legs right underneath of her. One thing I do like to see in these females is equal depth behind her front legs that carries back into their flank, where she just has a nice full flank on her where she can carry a nice big calf down the road. But a really tall, growthy female. You guys are getting to see some calves out here that are really ahead of the game for what might be expected just out of an average cow. So she'll be first, and she'll be coming in for our champion junior heifer.
So first place goes to Lattimore Valley Farms, exhibited by Remington King with Lattimore DBL Wildfire. Into the ring, we are going to bring back from the Minor family, Whiskey Willow, and then the Remington Lattimore Valley Farms DBL Cowboy, and Ghost Pepper from the Minor family, and then Blaine Blakely with Walker, and Remington King Lattimore Valley Farms with DBL Wildfire. I believe that should be all of our first place junior heifers. We are going to select our champion and reserve champion junior heifer before moving into our senior division.
In the ring now, you're seeing the first place class winners from every junior heifer class. So at a Longhorn show, they're grouped in classes that cover about 60 days of age, just to make it more competitive for the exhibitors, because you see from top to bottom the amount of change and growth that takes place in this breed from a year's difference. So we have a young female calf down here that was just born this spring, all the way up to a junior heifer on my far left that's well over a year old and entering into the age that we expect her to get into production. So for the exhibitor's sake, I just want to say a couple little things, since each of them were in a class by themselves, except for this youngest female down here on my right, just to kind of compare and talk about some things. So this young lady down here has an absolutely beautiful young heifer. She's at the most stressful point in her life right now until she goes into production. These are beef cattle, so this calf was on the side of its mom for 7 months, just nursing, hanging out, doing what cows do, lay around and be happy. And now she's been taken away from her mother and weaned, and that's a very critical time for that female to get on feed, learn how to live independently, be competitive at the feed bin, and get her fair share. And I really, really love what this heifer looks like. I think for the stage of development she's at in comparison to some of these older females, she's just doing a great job. Then you have some females here in the center. We have this lady's heifer, this brownish one, and the white one that are very similar in type. If you look at them from the front or from the side, they're the same size, front to rear. They're very tall heifers, very long heifers. They're very similar in structure and type. This black and white female in the middle is just different. She's different than the rest. She has more horn for her age, but her body is more compact. So you talk about raising Longhorns and how fun it is, but this is where it gets really, really tough. We're looking for structural correctness, horn growth, and color. So this black and white female has the most horns in comparison for her age, but if you look at her structurally, she's sacrificing a little bit in height and length of body. So she's got the color, she's got the horn, but maybe she's just not quite as tall and long as the females on the sides of her. So it becomes what's most important. What are you aiming for in your breeding program? And you make those choices about your show string based on what your personal preferences are. But as far as a Longhorn young female, she's, again, just very flashy, very valuable. And down here on the end, a really tall, very, very growthy female down here. Doesn't have as much flash as the black and white heifer, but she's that red and white traditional Longhorn color. When you look at her from different angles, her horns kind of are coming around a hair to the front, but on the ends they're tipping back. So just top to bottom, how about a round of applause for a really nice display of yearling heifers out here. So I like to look at a lot of cattle. I appreciate a lot of things about a lot of different cattle, because I know through the years you can fit these females into your program to try and improve something, whether you need to improve the horn, need to improve the color, need to improve height. I see females out here that I could use in my own herd for all kinds of different things. The one thing I'm going to say, I'm going to select the champion junior heifer, and this is a female that I like a lot. And if you walk, when I evaluate her standing still and I see things, I'm like, oh, I wish she was a little stronger here or there. But when she walks off and she leaves the ring, she's my favorite heifer. I'd like to strengthen her top line a little bit, but when she walks off, she does that herself. So congratulations, you're the champion junior heifer. Yeah, how about it? People's kids home watching TV aren't smiling like that. He's having a great time out here at the fair. Okay, that's a single entry. Your reserve champion heifer is going to be this more mature junior heifer here on the end. I love her height. I love her length. She's going to be a really nice brood cow down the road. So thank you guys for putting on an awesome display for the crowd here with your junior heifers. Very nice bunch.
Results of your division, your champion junior heifer was exhibited by colt miner number 1456 with jacked up ghost pepper. Your reserve champion junior heifer was exhibited by King Remington number 1453 with wildfire. We are now going to go into class 11. I believe we should have 3 entries in this class. One from the Minor family with CRR Mystic Diamond. And then Kai Remington King from Lattimore Valley Farms has 2 entries, and that will be Lattimore Tough Glory and Lattimore Tough Beauty Queen. Birth dates on these heifers range from November 5th, 2022 to October 18th, 2022 to December 30th, 2022. So it looks like we have a 3-month period there. Again, we're looking for Tough Glory, Tough Beauty Queen, and Mystic Diamond into the ring for our first class of senior heifers. I'd like to introduce our judge, Liz Huntsberry, has been raising and showing Longhorn since 1998. Along with her family, they have traveled all over the country exhibiting their cattle. She became a judge in 2000 and has enjoyed evaluating Longhorns and officiating shows, national stock shows, and ITLA championships. For 20 years, Liz has served the IA in various capacities. She has been a Region 2 Director, Vice President, and the show committee. She is a lifetime member and a proved training judge. Her family is actively involved with the Northeast Texas Longhorn Association. They have all enjoyed the friendships they have made with other breeders all over the United States. Liz splits her time between the place she shares with her daughter, Cassidy, in Maryland, and operating a ranch in Wyoming with her husband, Jake. Together, they share 8 children, 4 sons and 4 daughters, all who enjoy being involved in the ranching and cattle industry. Put your hands together and thank Liz for being here with us in Maryland today.
So this class of female 2-year-olds out here, and they're pretty close together in age as far as birth months go, but when you get to this stage and past here, this is where they really start to change, and they don't all look the same anymore. You see some differences in genetic styles and development. Some of these females out here are excelling in one department, not holding it all as tightly together as they do when they're young. When they really start to grow and get in production, they change a lot, they grow differently, so some may pour on the horn, some may grow really tall, and I've learned over the years that don't think you can predict things flawlessly, because you'll have a female like we have at the front of the line right now that has a lot of horn, but she's a little bit smaller in size and stature, and she's nowhere near finished growing. So she could catch up to this biggest heifer on the end, but her horn growth may slow down. So genetic families mature very differently, and when I hear people say, oh, well, this cow's gonna mature out to have the most horn when she's full grown, no, that's not always the case. It is the case out here today. We have a female, she's gonna be your first place female. Can you turn so I can see your numbers now that we have, okay, 1457 is going to be your first place, and today she's excelling. She's at the top of the game as far as horn. She's a little bit smaller in size and stature, but when I look at her, she has a lot of width over her top line. She's really wide in her loin and her pelvis. She has a lot of depth and a lot of volume in her heart girth right behind her front legs, and she moves solid, correct. She's got that flashy paint color. So she's winning the class today. In second place, number 1455. I like this female. I love her unique color. She's kind of roan, kind of Parker brown. She doesn't have as much horn as the female in front of her, but she's more feminine. She's very clean. She has a longer neck. If you look at her head and her face, she's just got that beautiful, gentle mother cow appearance already. She's ahead of 1454 in third place, mainly on strength in her feet and her hooves. She's just a little bit stronger in her pasterns. Her hooves and toes are closer together, so she walks off a little bit more correctly. These are cows that are turned out to pasture. They're walking around a lot. So that's like splitting hairs between the second and third place female out here today. In third place, entry 1454. She's beautiful, tall, long, very smooth, very feminine. This is just a pretty tight class, and we're just picking them apart at this point to say who's getting first today. But a very nice example of some different styles, types, and colors, and the fun variety that we get raising Longhorns.
Congratulations to Class 11 senior heifers. First place was awarded to the Minor family with CRR Mystic Diamond, and that heifer was born October 18th, 2022. Second went to Remington King with Lattimore Valley Farms. Samantha exhibited Lattimore Tough Beauty Queen, a November 5th, 2022 heifer. And third was awarded to Remington King from Lattimore Valley Farms with Lattimore Tough Glory, and she was a December 30th, 2022. We are now ready for Class 12 senior heifer. We have one entry by Rosemont Manor, and this is R.M. Juice Newton. She was born July 12th, 2022, and we have an exhibitor number of 1453. If I'm following, 58. Oh, sorry. If I'm following correctly, we should pick our senior heifer after this class.
Just want to take this opportunity while she's coming in and getting set up. just to talk a little bit about the Longhorn breed in general. How many of you have ever been around or seen Longhorn cows like this up close? Anybody? Okay, a few. How many have seen them in the movies where they're running wild, smashing fences, and cowboys are screaming and chasing them? Probably everybody in here has seen that. Yeah, we say sometimes that happens at home. But the Longhorn breed in general is very docile. They're very intelligent. They're outstanding mothers with pretty powerful maternal instincts. You can have a cow that is halter broken and gentle and easy to handle, but when she has a calf on the ground for the first few days, don't mess with her, because her job is to protect that calf. These cows came over into the southern part of the United States of America, and they were released off boats and bred with other cattle, and they were wild for a long time, and the only way for the breed to survive was for them to be highly protective of their calves. So that's one of the great traits that we have. They're docile, but they know how to survive and have very, very good instincts when it comes to mothering. So out here right now, we have a single entry, number 1458, and this is a female that just takes things to a whole nother level. This is a very flashy example of what I would term as a judge as this is a show heifer, okay? She's in excellent body condition. She has everything that we're shooting for in the breed. That's that flashy color. She's structurally one of the most correct cows I've seen come in the ring today. So when I say that, if you look at her from the front, her front legs are straight and square. Her feet aren't close together or far apart. And you look at the same thing from behind, she has the same width at her hocks as she does down to her hooves on the ground. She's a young heifer, but she's got a lot of width through her back and her pelvis, all this beautiful round spring of rib, and she's put the same valuable traits of color and size and correctness on that calf. She's got a really nice udder, which is critical. These female cows can calve into their teens and early 20s. So udder correctness, teat size, and teat placement is super important. So how about a round of applause? This is a pretty fancy pair coming to the fair for you guys to see.
So Rosemont Manor wins first place with RM Juice Newton. We're now going to select our senior heifer, champion, and reserve. So June is going to stay in the ring with Juice Newton, and we will add Rebecca Minor from the Minor family with CRR Mystic Diamond in with that. We're coming.
While the other heifers are making their way back into the ring, just to talk a little bit more about the breed in general for people that are popping in and popping out. The Longhorns are the oldest breed of beef cattle that originated in the United States of America. So they've been around a long time. They were wild cattle that eventually the cowboys started gathering up and collecting these herds of wild cattle and driving them north out of Texas and Louisiana up into the areas that were just cattle booming towns like Kansas and Nebraska. And these cattle are very tough. They're perfectly suited to the conditions here in the United States just through survival of the fittest. If they succumbed to the diseases they were exposed to, they died. So what evolved was a group of Longhorn cattle that are disease resistant to things that can plague other beef breeds like foot rot, pink eye. They're just a super resilient breed of cattle They do extremely well on poor quality pastures. They don't require a whole lot of pampering, special feeding, and that's just their genetic makeup. They survived and evolved on whatever was available. So here's two females out here. A lot to appreciate about both of them. Today, your champion will be number 1458 in production. Just a beautiful pair. I do like to be able to look at them and see, here's a beautiful cow, but can she make a beautiful baby? Okay, there's plenty of great show cows, and I've owned some that could win at a show, but their calves were mediocre or not competitive down the road. So a lot of these people have smaller herds, and a large part of what they do is bring their cattle out for exhibition for people to see and enjoy. So it's an important thing to be able to continue to produce a high quality offspring. So she will be your senior champion, and your reserve is this beautiful younger female here, and you know, you just want to sit back and watch her grow and see how she develops. But she's certainly off to a more than good start. She's got a lot of very valuable qualities herself, and we'll look forward to seeing her next year out here, and she'll have that calf on the ground.
Your champion senior heifer was exhibited by Rosemont Manor with R.M. Juice Newton, and she is a July 12, 2022 heifer. Your reserve was exhibited by the Minor family with 1457 Mystic Diamond. We are now ready for Class 16. I believe we have two entries, one by Cheyenne Rothenhofer from Flat Tire Ranch with T.H. Money Bunny. That heifer was born May 14th, 2021, or cow, I guess, at this point. And our other junior cow, no. And our other junior cow in that class will be exhibited by the Minor family with Tex-Mex Cowgirl. So we're looking for two cows. May 14th is Money Bunny, and a March 2nd, 2021 is Tex-Mex Cowgirl, and both of them, I believe, have calves at side. This will automatically become your champion and reserve champion junior cow.
I sure want to commend these exhibitors, these young ladies out here. We're in the state of Maryland where there's not tons and tons of Longhorn cattle, but you have cows standing out here right now that can compete on a national level and be competitive with cattle from all over the country. This is an extremely tight class in here, and I'm going to hit a couple high notes for the breeders who will possibly understand this a little bit better than the crowd, because there is a lot to this breed that is preference on color, horn pattern, the direction they're going, how much they have. But this is a show, and the differences and what's making me choose these cows first and second is pretty minor points. So today I am going to use this Grulia cow down here as your first place female. So for you breeders looking and asking why, it's right here. Okay, she's just a little bit more correct in the textbook Longhorn fishhook tail. So her tail comes all the way to the end and drops, and literally splitting hairs. She has this perfect fish hook here, and this cow just drops off a shade sooner. This is a minor thing, but when you're talking about two really valuable cows standing next to each other, that is one thing. She has a little bit more volume to her horn, so just a little bit thicker coming out of that base, a little bit more substance to her horn. This calf, I know, was only born a few days ago, so if you look at their udders and this cow's milking a little bit harder, that's why. She has a brand new baby calf. She's just full bore putting that high fat milk on the ground to get this calf fat and full before winter comes, but she has a very correct, well-balanced udder, and structurally this female, you'd just be picking her apart. She's a little bit leaner out here today. She's not quite carrying the weight and the volume and the cover over her rib cage, and this is why. Okay, if you look at them out in the field and you don't see the babies, you'd say she's a hard keeper, she's not getting enough food, but in actuality, she's giving everything to this calf, and that's what she's supposed to be doing right now. This is a beautiful cow, a beautiful pair. She's a little bit further in her lactation. This calf is actually at the point where she's probably ready to wean off and get on her own here in the next month or so. This female is very smooth. She's incredibly well balanced. You just look at that cover and that length of body, all this width from her hooks to her pins that gives her that great calving ease, but she's doing an excellent job raising a big, beautiful calf, and I really like both of these females, so thank you girls for bringing them out.
Your champion junior cow was exhibited by Abigail Miner. This is an owned heifer by Abigail, Tex-Mex Cowgirl. And again, that is your champion junior cow, and we will see her in a little while for the selection of our grand. Your reserve junior cow was exhibited by Cheyenne Rothenhofer with T.H. Money Bunny. We're now ready for our senior cow division. Again, our senior cow division is next. We are looking for a single entry by June Connor from Rosemont Manor. I probably murdered her last name. I apologize. We'll stick with Rosemont Manor. How's that? And I'm going to get the cow right. This is R.M. Juneau. Your cow was born in June 8th, 2013, and this is a single entry.
in the senior cow division, here's just a beautiful example of a textbook Longhorn cow. Okay, we were wanting to get that size, get the volume, get the horn, get the color. I mean, she's carrying it all. This cow's been a show cow for a long time. Here she is, she's 11 years old. So in most breeds of cattle, it doesn't matter if they're dairy or they're beef, by age 11, they're gone. They're culled out. They're not, their udders don't hold up. Their feet don't hold up. The Texas Longhorn cows can calve into their late teens and early 20s. So she is a cow that has already gone above and beyond what other breeds of beef cattle can produce. So there's a lot of value in that. So that being said, the first things that start to go that are a problem in a cow's production are udder. And if you look at this 11-year-old cow, I'm going to guess and say she's raised at least 9 calves. They nurse on their mom for 7 months, so most of her life that udder has been in use raising a calf. And she just has beautiful teat size that's holding up. And the reason that's important is if a cow's quarter blows or their teats get damaged and they blow up and they're swollen and that calf can't get on and nurse, it's a management nightmare. The cow needs to go in, get milked out. The calf can't nurse all 4 quarters equally. So when you have a cow at this age in this condition whose udder is holding up that nice, it says a lot about genetics and a really nice, powerful, big mama cow. And you look at the calf by her side, I said it before, you want her to be able to duplicate those same good qualities in her offspring. And she's just got a beautiful, big, solid calf by her side. Again, she's later in her lactation. She's raising a big calf, but she's pouring all her groceries and milk and everything that she takes in and eats is going straight into that calf, and that's where her value increases, and that's where the breeder's profit comes from calf crops. So big round of applause for a really pretty older Texas Longhorn mama cow out there.
Congratulations to June Cohorn from Rosemont Manor with RM Juno. Again, she was born June 2013, and we will see her back shortly for our senior champion cow division. At this time, we have Samantha King from Lattimore Valley Farms exhibiting Lattimore Stella. This cow was born January 2011. Immediately following the selection of our senior cow, we will be selecting our grand champion female. So we're looking for the Minor family with jacked up ghost pepper. We're looking for our champion senior heifer, Juice Newton, and our champion junior cow from the Minor family, Tex-Mex Cowgirl. And we do need our reserves on standby.
Here's another great example of a teenage Texas Longhorn cow that's really holding up well, still in production. So she's already weaned her calf for this year, and she's already 60 months bred for next year. So you look at the condition that she's in, she's carrying a lot of finish, just in really, really nice condition to come out here and show today. A couple of things that strike me about her, and I just want to point them out to the crowd, that these are true Texas Longhorn traits, and one of them is all this long hair that she has in her ears. You'll see cattle that have 4, 5, 6 inches of hair on the inside of their ears, and that was put there to protect them from flies and biting insects and things that would stress them out and make it harder for them to concentrate on milking and raising babies. And the other thing is that big, beautiful switch, long tail with lots of volume, lots of hair there to keep the flies off of them. These are traits that have kind of followed through, even though other things about them like size and volume and horn have been improved on. I always appreciate getting to see these traditional Longhorn traits that are strong genetic traits of a Longhorn, and they're still there hanging out. So a nice senior cow out here that's already done her job for this year, and she's getting ready to go into winter and make another nice calf for spring.
Your senior cow, born 2011 or before, was exhibited by Samantha King from Lattimore Valley Farms with Lattimore Stella. We are now going to bring back in our Rosemont Manor Juno, who was born in June 2013, to select our champion and reserve champion senior cow. Again, we do need our heifers that we selected, our junior and senior heifer, on standby for the selection of our grand champion Longhorn female. Real quick, we'd like to thank Dr. Keith here, who's been our ring man today. Thank you so much for being here today and helping us make sure we've got this right as we're moving in and out of the ring and keeping our cattle moving in the right direction. We appreciate ringman greatly here, or he's called our steward, right? He's our steward here today. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, how about a round of applause? This is Dr. Keith Berkeley. He's from Charlestown, West Virginia. He had an equine practice just outside of the Charlestown racehorse track, where he had a very successful and well-needed business there for the equine people in our community. And Keith's children are all grown and gone from home, but Keith is also an ITLA judge. He's an approved training judge. And his son Preston, who now lives on the West Coast, has just been approved, and he's a judge as well. So he is our Region 2 representative for our International Texas Longhorn Club, which is a great honor, and we're pleased to have Keith out here today. But he's more than just a pretty face. He actually does important stuff too. So big round of applause again for Dr. Keith Berkeley. So out here we have our teenage Longhorn females, our mature cows, and it's just really cool to come out to an event or judge a show where you get to see them full grown. This is what they look like. They're beautiful, they're colorful, they're quiet, wonderful, wonderful cows. Here's two females out here. When I start to see the aging process coming on, if I want to pick them apart, it's starting to show up in their feet. Their feet are just getting a little weaker on both of them. But again, these cows are moving around sound. They have years of production left in them, but just two beautiful mature cows. So these things take up a lot of trailer space, so do our big steers. So I would appreciate a round of applause for the exhibitors that bring these big cows out for people to enjoy. The last thing we want is anything to happen to them traveling to or from an event. So it's always really nice when we have people bring these big females out. So today your champion senior cow is going to be entry number 1461 here on my left with the calf on her side. Just a little bit more size, a little bit more volume, a little bit more length. But your reserve champion 1462 is just another really nice classic textbook Longhorn female. So thank you both. Two very nice old girls out there.
Rosemont Manor exhibited your champion senior cow with RM Juno, and your reserve senior cow was exhibited by Samantha King from Lattimore Valley Farms with Lattimore Stella. We are now going to select your grand champion female. And we'll give the exhibitors just a minute to get gathered up here to head into the ring.
See how many's there. Well, Kelly, did you already use yours, so I don't have to pay for your meal? No, I have my own. Okay. Because I want to give.
In the ring at this time, we are selecting your grand champion Longhorn female. From your junior heifer division, we have Colt Minor and the Minor family with Ghost Pepper. From your senior heifer division, we have Rosemont Manor with RM Juice Newton. From your junior cow division, we have the Minor family, Abigail Minor's owned cow, Tex-Mex Cowgirl, number 1460. And from our last division, champion senior cow, we have Rosemont Manor's RM Juno. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together and congratulate our exhibitors. Again, let's thank our judge, Liz Hartberry, for being here today. Sorry, I tripped over that. Took me a minute. I'm off script. So we would like to thank her for being here today. We'd like to thank our ring steward for being here today. And we're going to be ready to move into bulls after we are done selecting our grand champion female.
All-age female today is going to this grand senior cow down here on the end. When I look at her size, volume, her age, how she's holding up, her udder, the trimness and femininity of this female, I just think she's a testament to what we're shooting for in the Longhorn breed, and that's correctness, longevity, mothering ability, and she just pulls it all together. She's your champion all-age female here today.
So our reserve senior cow will come back into the ring to compete for your reserve grand champion, and that is Samantha King with Lattimore Stella, exhibitor number 1462.
For your reserve all age today, I'm going to follow up with this beautiful junior cow here. There are things like if I want to pick apart, I'd like to clean her up in her brisket. She's got carrying some extra fat down through there. But the reason I'm using this cow today is I've talked about the females being able to reproduce their good qualities. I think she's very traditional in appearance. I love her udder, how she's milking today, the smoothness of this cow, and honestly, her age today, and looking at these other females out here. We got beautiful cows all around, but if I go with something younger today, I'm sort of making a prediction. I may be right, I may be wrong, but this is to just commend these breeders with the younger females out here. I think you guys are showing outstanding animals, but today I'm going to choose the female that I can see and I know, and where she is in her age and her development. This is a really, really nice pair out here. So thank you guys all for bringing all these beautiful cows out. These people are getting a treat here today.
Your grand champion female was exhibited by Rose Manor and is J.M. Juno, exhibitor number 1464. And from the Minor family, Abigail Minor owns your Tex-Mex Cowgirl, who is your reserve grand champion female with exhibitor number 1460. We're now moving into Class 28 Junior Bulls. We have a single entry from Lattimore Valley Farms with Samantha King with Lattimore Vigilante. We're waiting, he'll be on his way, but he is a March 19th, 2023 bull.
Okay, we got a junior bull out here. He's a single entry in his class, so I'm just going to talk about him while he walks around. He's not real interested in standing up and looking pretty. He's worried about breeding cows, okay? He's possibly been turned out already breeding heifers, and this is just a really nice, really powerfully made young bull. Look at all that width, that strength in his top line. It's just poker straight. Beautiful tail set. I like the muscle that he's showing when he walks, and you see those muscles in his shoulder and his hind quarter, just really showing some masculinity starting to come on. Really nice, solid young herd sire there.
And winning your junior bull Class 28 is Samantha King with Lattimore Vigilante. No? So this was Class 31. This bull was bred by Rosemont Manor and is RM Flying High Again, and he was born September 25th, 2023. He's almost a year old. Again, we have Alexis Raydoon Photography here today. They are taking ring shots and backdrop shots We do have a postcard down by Mr. Miner here, and it has a QR code on the back, a QR code that you can just scan that will take you right to her site. Her pictures are phenomenal. She's been here for a couple years working with us at the Maryland State Fair, and we really appreciate that. Again, that's Alexis Raydoon, and we do have cards down here with a great QR code that'll take you right to that area.
Okay, another single entry out here in the bulls, and like I said, they really have very little interest in being in town and standing still and showing off. They've got other more important things on their minds this time of year. But here's a really tall, growthy Longhorn bull here. He's got a lot of leg underneath of him. He's very smooth, very well balanced. I want you to look at the base of his horns. He's a young bull, just past a year of age, and already that base and circumference around his horns is just pouring on. So really nice, colorful, flashy, athletic-looking young bull. So thank you for bringing him in.
And that was our entry from Lattimore Valley Farms with Lattimore Vigilante. We're now going to select our champion junior bull, which will also be our grand champion bull. So the selection here will be for our grand and reserve grand champion bull. And then I believe we're moving into our steer division.
So both of our young bulls out here, these are the only two bulls here at the fair this year. And again, this is breeding season, and people are hesitant to bring their bulls in here when they have cows that they need covered back home. But two super nice young bulls out here, very different types. So you have the young bull, very young. He's really well balanced, and then you have an older bull. He's got a little bit more size, a little bit more height, and a lot of horn going on. So it is a choice about what are you aiming for, what do you need to add into your herd, what do you need to improve. So you have a bull that's more correct as far as balance in the younger bull, and then a bull that's going to add height and horn to a herd that may be lacking that. So I don't want to take anything away from either of these bulls, because it would depend on what you're trying to improve in your own herd. Today, I'm going to go with the younger bull, entry number 1464. He's going to be your champion today, mainly on conformation and style. When I look at him against a standard, there's really nothing at this point in this age that I need to correct about him. He's strong in his top line. He's masculine enough. He moves off really freely and correctly, and he will be your champion today. Entry number 1463, your reserve champion bull, just pouring that horn on with a lot of color. And if I was looking to add size and horn to my herd, this is definitely a bull that's going to do both of those things. So thank you guys for bringing these breeding bulls in so the crowd can see what our young Longhorn bulls look like.
Your grand champion bull was exhibited by Rosemont Manor with RM Flying High again, and that bull was born September 25th, 2023. Your reserve grand champion bull was exhibited by Lattimore Valley Farms and Samantha King with Lattimore Vigilante, and that bull was born March 19th, 2023. That does conclude our bull show, but please don't go anywhere. We're bringing steers into the ring, and as I just learned, steers have the longest horns of any longhorn. So the steers are going to come in the ring here, and you will see the longest horns that we have here at the Maryland State Fair on our steer exhibits. we're looking for class 48. We have 2 entries, Cheyenne Rothenhofer and Blaine Blakely will be bringing their steers in the ring with FTR Counterfeit Money and Texas Ranger. Those are our first 2 steers in the ring.
This is our first class of junior steers, and for people that are here watching, a lot of times at fairs, when you see beef cattle in the ring, their sole purpose is meat. It's food and consumption. The Longhorn breed, the steers that are out here today are something entirely different. These cattle are show cattle. They are chosen to be retained as something flashy and beautiful. They grow the biggest horns. They have the most docile dispositions, and they are not headed for somebody's freezer. These steers are here as exhibition animals and to show people what the Longhorn breed is and how beautiful they really are. So we've got 2 young steers out here. They're not reproducing, so a steer is a bull that has been castrated, neutered, whatever you guys understand, that this is a male that can no longer produce calves. So all he has to do is grow horn. These steers that you see come out here are just going to be amazing. They just get bigger and better the older they get. So 2 nice young junior steers out here. What I'm looking for is flash, color, horn growth, how they travel into the ring. These steers can live into their 20s, so I want correctness in their feet and watching them travel and move soundly so they hold up for a long, long time. First place today, I'm going to use this black and white steer on the end, 1465. He's going to win the class today on just that beautiful, attractive color. His horns are black right now, and they will grow out. They'll get opaque as he gets older, but this color of horn at this young age develops slower. He's not going to pour the horn on at a young age, but it will come down the road. And anybody that was watching earlier, we had a beautiful black and white cow out here with a solid black calf. Did you guys remember her? That's the mom of this baby. So this is her calf from last year growing up. He looks just like her, beautiful, fancy, correct young prospect there. In second place, we're going to use this red paint steer. He's got a lot of horn growth. I love the direction that it's going. When it stays down low and lateral at this age, you tend to get a whole lot of tip-to-tip measurement down the road. So he probably won't have big high horns or big twisty horns, but his value is going to be in total tip-to-tip horn, but really tall, beautiful color, moves off very nice, and he'll be a fun one to watch grow up. I'm going to say with all that leg and size underneath him, he's going to be a pretty big fancy steer down the road. So 2 nice young trophy steer prospects in the first class.
First place was awarded to Cheyenne Rothenhofer from Flat Tire Ranch in York Springs, Pennsylvania, with FTR Counterfeit Money. And Blaine Blakely from BS Cattle is second with Texas Ranger. We have broken our next class due to birth dates, so we will have a single entry from Rosemont Manor with RM Thor. This steer was born June 21st, 2023. And we are looking for Cheyenne for our next class with CS Kansas Kid.
So a young steer here, he's just 3 months past his first birthday, and he's just got all the components we're looking for. It's really hard when you raise Longhorn cattle to make the decision, do you keep this calf a bull and hold on to him and watch him, or do you castrate him at weaning time and turn him into a big fancy trophy steer? And here's a calf that in all likelihood could have done either thing. He's very correct, he's very colorful, he's tall, flashy, but in this breed and with the progression of artificial insemination in cattle, a lot of people have decided, well, I'm not going to retain a bull, feed a bull, they get enormous, they eat a lot, and this is the alternative. You have a beautiful animal out here that is going to catch everyone's eye, and he's just going to be a docile, great ambassador for our breed to come out to these county fairs or go to local shows and events and just show people how cool they really are. So he's going to be a tough one to beat there. He's an easy first place, and we'll see him back in for champion.
Congratulations to RM Thor. This is your class winner. We have a single entry in Class B50 from Cheyenne from Flat Tire Ranch with CS Kansas Kid, and then we are going to select your champion, grand champion steer. So your champion junior steer will become your grand champion steer. It's a trick. These breeders have got me on my toes today with these Longhorn cattle. So we're going to select our junior steer after this class, our champion in reserve, but we will not select our grand champion steer until the very end of our steer show.
We're going to let this young lady bring this fancy bigger steer in the ring, and just want to talk a little bit about our club in this area. So any kids that are around that have their interest sparked by the Longhorn breed here today, we have a super active affiliate that covers Maryland, Pennsylvania, Virginia, North Carolina, Ohio. We come out to a lot of these fairs, state fairs, county fairs. This young lady's had her steer out and about at least twice a month ever since she got out of school in the spring. This steer actually goes back to one of the programs that our breed club initiated, and one year at a big world show out, I think we were in Oklahoma or in Texas somewhere, at the world show where all the Longhorn breeders come in and come together, and it's the best of the best. And there was a raffle where one of our generous breeders out of Texas donated a female heifer calf, and she was just a baby, and she was won by my daughter in a raffle. So we came home with an extra heifer, and my daughter got a really nice first calf out of her, and then when she had her second calf, she gifted that calf to Cheyenne, who needed a show steer. So it's really cool for me to be involved with a group that cares so much about our youth, and the focus is on helping each other, helping people grow into responsible adults, and it's a lot of fun to be involved with this. So this calf was actually, when he was born, he was almost completely white. So all these spots and colors and patches that you see develop is part of what's unique about the Longhorn breed. When he was born, he was tan around his face and his neck and a little bit on his legs, but the rest of his body was snow white. So it's been really fun to watch him. He's 2 years old now, and if you come back next year and the year after that, he's going to look totally different again. He's just going to continue to develop more spots. He's got tan spots, black spots, but this is the really fun part for the youth and even the grown-ups about showing the Longhorn steers. They're super low-key. They have their own unique personalities, and she has done a fabulous job with raising the steer and getting him out and about. So this is Kansas Kid, and he's going to hang out here for some more competition, but just a really nice, humongous, growthy, young Longhorn steer. He's going to be a tremendous big boy when he finally finishes growing, and that probably won't be till he's probably around 10 years old. So he has a lot of growing and changing and developing to do.
Congratulations, Cheyenne, with Kansas Kid. We're going to bring Rosemont Manor's R.M. Thor back in the ring. And Cheyenne's other entry of FTR Counterfeit Money. And we are going to select your champion and reserve champion junior steer.
Okay, well now you guys get to see what a difference a year makes. So we have this young calf down here. He's just a year old. Then you have the brindle steer in the middle that's approaching a year and a half, and the bigger steer on the end that's past his second birthday. So pretty cool group out here. So you can see the changes in body capacity and substance, how the bone pours on. They're getting thicker and bigger in their legs. The horn is really coming out, and the colors that change and develop. All three of these will just continue to get more beautiful as the years go by. Every time they shed out, it's just going to be even better. More spots, more color. Today, your champion's going to be this oldest steer down on the end, 1468. I just think for the age difference and the amount of horn that he's pouring on and the size that he is, he's earned that this year, so he'll be your champion. Since she is a single entry, I'm going to follow up with the brindle steer here in the middle, entry 1464. I want to watch this steer and see how he changes and develops. He has a different, unique horn set. They're not straight out, they're not coming up, they're coming down, and this steer could end up with just about anything. They could come down really low and scoop up. They may come out a little ways and tip back, but the height that he carries today, that flashy brindle color, he will be the reserve. But I do really appreciate this black and white flashy steer on the end. He has all the traits that we're looking for in retaining a trophy steer. He's just losing out today on age and development, but he's going to be a tough steer to beat down the road. So 3 really attractive steers. Thank you guys for bringing them out.
Your champion steer was CS Kansas Kid, exhibited by Cheyenne Rothenhofer, and your reserve was exhibited by Rosemont Manor with R.M. Thor, and we will see those steers back at the end of the show for our grand champion selection. We are now going to move into our trophy steer division. Our trophy steer class 61. I believe we have 2 entries. We have an entry that's owned and shown by Allison Minor with CRR Happy Pirate Jake, and an entry from Samantha King from Lattimore Valley Farms with Lattimore Squirt.
Oh, come on, you guys. Come on. How about a round of applause for these big fancy steers? How about that? If I had to guess, I'd say not many people sitting in here have gotten the opportunity to see a big, fancy, mature Longhorn steer. So I talked about the big, mature cow coming in and what it takes to transport an animal like this safely here. And I'm telling you guys, for these people to bring in these big, mature steers, it is a treat for you guys to see. So 2 nice big steers, and I'm going to go out here and take a look at them. I want you folks to see how gentle and calm and tame these animals are. I can walk up, I can touch them, rub heads, they're not going to move, they're not looking at me. These are the prized possessions of these exhibitors out here today. It takes a long time to get them this far along in the game, and it's something they're really, really proud of. So this is just 2 awesome steers out here. There's a little bit of age difference, but not a whole lot. The steers will continue to grow more horn as long as they're alive and healthy and don't have an accident that snaps a horn or knocks a tip off. They'll just continue to grow. The majority of the horn growth takes place between about 2 and 6 or 7, and then it slows way down from there. But they will continue just to keep growing a little bit, a little bit, a little bit. But 2 big mature steers out here carrying a lot of body weight. What happens in these big steers, if they're not really strong in their feet and legs, is they start to lay down a lot. And they are too heavy and their bone structure can't take it, or their feet are not sound and solid, and they'll start laying down instead of standing up. And then what you see is steers that come out in the ring and they'll have bare spots on the front of their knees, and that tells me this animal's starting to break down, and that's a terrible thing to have happen. Nobody wants that. We want them to stay strong and powerful and be able to take them out and take them around and show them off. So 2 great steers out here today. Today I'm going to use this young lady here on my left with the big steer, Jake. She's going to win today. It's about total horn, but he is just a big, beautiful, flashy steer. In second place, I'm going to use the white steer, just a little bit overdone today in the horn department. But if you weren't here earlier, both of these steers are saddle broke to ride. They were in the opening ceremonies. You can do anything with them. Just 2 big, really cool, different Longhorn steers. So thank you guys for bringing them to town.
So your champion trophy steer was exhibited, owned, and shown by Allison Miner with CRR Happy Pirate Jake. And your reserve champion trophy steer was exhibited by Samantha King from Lattimore Valley Farms with Lattimore Squirt. We are now going to select your grand champion steer. So we are looking for CS Kansas Kid and Allison Miner with Happy Pirate Jake. So these are our two steers who are going to compete for Grand Champion Steer honors.
Just a few things I want to point out to you guys that have been good enough to hang out and listen and learn about the Longhorn. So one thing that changes when this animal is not in production anymore, in a cow, all of the energy and focus is on the back end, where their reproductive organs are, their udder is, they're producing milk. So the whole shift of their body goes to the hind quarter. Here's a big steer, and if you look at him, it's the opposite. Since he's no longer reproducing or breeding cows, all the volume comes here in his front end, and they start to tuck up in the rear. So as he gets older, that will become more pronounced, and that's why you see these steers in the newbies, and they look like they're not balanced. They get very tucked up in here, and that's just a lack of use for their reproductive organs. The other thing you see on this steer is he's lean. He doesn't have a bunch of fat coverage over his rib cage, but you see these big hip bones here, and he starts to put down a little bit of body fat on there for protection. And he's also carrying some fat and weight and food store up in his brisket between his front legs. This steer is turned out on pasture. If I had to guess, he's not getting fed grain. He's just turned out grazing, and that is nature's way of him holding food stores for the winter. So you have a younger steer here. He's still really well balanced front to rear. Look at the difference in his brisket down through his front legs. He's super trim. His hips are clean, and he just has a whole another look about him right now. But down the road, the shift takes place, and he'll start to take on a body shape more like the mature steer. So today, your grand champion steer is going to be this young lady on the end, entry number 1469. Just really like how gentle he is. What a great example he is of the Texas Longhorn breed. And he's holding up great on those feet and legs in spite of the fact that he's toting around quite a good bit of body weight. But just a beautiful steer. So thank you for bringing him out.
Your grand
reserve all-age steer. So there's tons of things to appreciate about both of them. I have two beautiful steers out here. So when it comes down to a point like this and there's a huge age difference, and in my mind I go to what is the value of that animal today? If you were going to take this animal or offer the animal for sale, who has a bigger price tag today on them? And that's how it gets sometimes when you have two very high quality animals. I got to get down to where do I think the value is today. And for that reason, I'm going to use this senior steer entry 1470. I know what I have. I know how he's holding up with his age. I'm going to make an assumption that down the road, this steer in a couple of years could beat this steer that I'm using today, but he still has to get to that point. So two great steers out here. I hope you guys have enjoyed the show because we appreciate being included in the Maryland State Fair. Thank you guys for hanging out and enjoying the animals. And if you give us a little bit and let the exhibitors get their animals put away, we're in the barn right over here, and you're welcome to come in and talk to the breeders and ask any questions. Come see them up close.
We do have a produce of dam class that we're gonna do here quickly. I believe we have 3 entries: Rose Hill Manor, BS Cattle, and from the Minor family. But your grand champion steer was owned and shown by Allison Minor with CRR Pirate Jake, and your reserve grand champion steer was shown by Samantha King with Lattimore Squirt. They both came from our trophy steer category. Again, we're going to do a produce a dam class. I do have 3 entries for a produce a dam, which is Rosemont Manor, BS Cattle, and Rebecca Minor and Family's Cattle. So if we can bring our produce a dam in the ring at this time, that will finish up our Longhorn show, and we will be taking pictures with Alexis Raydoon at the backdrop here today. And then as Elle were invited, once the cattle are settled, you can go back and talk to the breeders and the showers about these wonderful cattle. finish up our show here with the produce dam. And that means we are showing generations of cattle. So in comes the cow, and then you will see her offspring coming in. No? So the cow doesn't come in. It's just two offspring from a single cow. Sorry about that, folks. I saw a cow head out there, and so yeah, we're gonna have two offspring from the same mother. And that's what you see coming in the ring at this time. Two offspring from the same mother. And we have 3 exhibitors in that category. So we have Rosemont Manor, and I believe they have 3 from the same mother. And then we have Blaine Blakely, and then we have the Minor family.
So this is the last part of our Longhorn show, and what this gives the exhibitors is an opportunity to show a display of offspring from a particular mother. This is the produce of dam. Dam means the mother. So it seems slightly confusing if you've never seen it, but the calf behind here, I'm not looking at. I'm looking at this cow. I'm looking at this bull. Both of them were out of the same mother cow. The mother cow is not here. This is what she can produce. So you have a mature cow and a bull. They both were produced out of the same female that this ranch owns. Same thing here. We have a big steer and a little heifer here. The mother is not here. These are her offspring. And what I'm looking for here is a female's ability to produce traits that I would consider high value. I'm looking for consistency, which sometimes is hard to judge when you're looking at groupings that are a long ways apart in age. But I want to see color, I want to see horn, I want to see structural correctness. And that's what I'm looking for out here. So today, first place is going to go to this ranch entry on my right. She's wearing entry 1489. We've gotten the opportunity to look at all these animals individually in the ring, and I just appreciate the longevity, the Longhorn traits that both of these pairs are carrying, the way they competed in their class out here today. Just two very, very valuable examples of Longhorn cattle here out of the same dam. So a very high quality female and a young bull here that's showing me all the things I want to see for a young bull this age. So they're sound in their feet and legs, a lot of strength and width in their top lines. They'll be winning the class today. In second place, I'm going with this ranch entry on my left. So we saw both of these heifers exhibited in their classes. They did very well. What I'm looking at in this pair that I really like is the horn growth, the flashy color. They're strong in their feet and legs. So again, very competitive cattle in their own age groups. And their dam is obviously something that is worth hanging on to. These cows could possibly be back home with other calves on their side already, but a great way for away from this pair in the center. When you talk about what can that dam put on the ground, okay, so here you have a different style. These cows are a little bit taller, a little bit longer. In the Longhorn breed, color is important. So I'm not saying that's why they're in third place today, but it is desirable in the breed to have a lot of flash and a lot of color. Where this comes in handy is if they want to change what that female is producing and they see, okay, well, we got this big steer and he was white and we got a little heifer that was white, then they can go back out and select a bull that might break it up or add something to it. But when you're talking about consistency, it's pretty clear right here. This female, she's going to hammer them out cookie cutter same. So nice group entries, you guys. Thanks for bringing them out.
Congratulations to our produce of dam exhibitors. First went to Rosemont Manor, second to the Minor family, and third to Blaine Blakely from BS Cattle. We are happy to announce that your premier breeder at the 2024 Maryland State Fair Longhorn Show is the Lattimore family, and your premier exhibitor at the 2024 Maryland State Fair is the Minor family. We are taking pictures at the backdrop at this time, so head to the backdrop and get some pictures. For all Longhorn exhibitors, I handed out some shirts yesterday in bags. If you did not get a shirt, I am set up at the golf cart next to the backdrop. So if you did not get an exhibitor shirt, a Maryland State Fair exhibitor shirt, if you want to head to the back there, my husband or I will be there to help you get your shirts. Again, we want to make sure all our Longhorn exhibitors did get their exhibitor shirts. Thank you again for being here with us today. We hope you enjoy your day at the fair.